Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about cultivating the connection or the relationship with your soul, because that is what this journey is all about, getting to know yourself at a soul level. So, welcome. I'm Kathleen from Awakening Meraki. Now, why is this important? Well, you've been awakened, and you've been awakened to come into resonance that you are the soul. And this is now about a journey of the soul. And it always has been about the soul, but now it's awakened, right? And this is about realizing your soul, resonating that you are soul. And, I know that, it's really hard, this journey at the beginning, because we want to make it all about a relationship. We want to make it about, the mind, let's say. The mind wants to make it about a relationship. But actually, what it is about, it's about you learning that you are soul. That's who you truly are. You're not this body, you're not the mind. They are temporary things that you have while you're here in this incarnation and having this experience. And so, learning and building and cultivating your connection with soul, which is who you truly are, is key on this journey. Everything that's in alignment to soul will come on the journey with you, but you first need to resonate that your soul and shift your perspective from the physical to the non-physical and build the connection at a soul level. And what I mean by that is learn that you are masculine and feminine energies, learn how they dance and weave and do what they do. Learn what that actually really means, because when you start to really learn to work with your energies, you realize that there's so much more to you than what you thought. And it is going to help you expand. Your consciousness will naturally expand. You don't need to go looking for it. It will just organically happen as you shift through this process, because as you collapse the duality within you, which is the fear-based energy, you will realize, well, what will happen is the byproduct of that is that you will expand. Your consciousness will expand, your spiritual gifts will come alive, and you'll realize there's just more to you than just this physical body and the mind. There's so much more. You are an infinite being. And the more you cultivate this connection and get to know yourself at a soul level and learn that all these fears, the anxiety, the angst, the mind that's going off the charts, is actually, those things have all been heightened because we operate in duality to teach you that you're none of those things. And so learning, and I know it's so hard, right? It's so incredibly challenging at the beginning of this journey, so I get it. But learning to transmute that angst, that anxiety, that fear, that need, that want, that dependency energy, which is manifested as push energy, by the way, in this physical realm. Learning to transmute those energies, because this is not an emotional connection, it's an energetic connection. And you've got to learn to be able to discern and sit with your emotions, but know you're not the stories and behind the emotions, that they are experiences that you've encountered, but they don't define you. And that is what this journey is ultimately about. And so it's learning to not push your energy out, it's learning to bring it back and harness it and work with it, and learn to transmute these fear-based energies that have been playing out in your life and holding you back for a very long time. And so how do you do this? How do you cultivate this connection? Well, you honor the soul. You honor that you're a soul. You be a good steward of your soul. That means starting to look after yourself, starting to, and I know in the beginning when you're really like hitting the wall and you're going through ego death, I mean, I couldn't look after myself. I was just a complete mess. But you will be able to, you will pull yourself out of it. You will shift, because soul will be driving you along to get you to really learn to transmute and get out of those lower emotional states, that because they're not who you are, and you want to clear them, you really do. And so having gratitude, practicing gratitude, thanking your soul, speaking like your soul. So what soul, if something's some fears rising in front of you, it's like, okay, soul, what are you showing me? What are you showing me to work with? What do I need to transmute? I'm going to sit with the emotions. I'm going to let the emotions express themselves. You're learning to self-regulate. That's what you're learning. You know, I look back on my own life and I'm like, I was never shown how to self-regulate my emotions as a young child because it just didn't happen. And that's just conditioning, and it is what it is. And so I've taken that through my own life. And so when, you know, my whole world turned upside down, I did not know how to, because I got to such a state that the emotions were just uncontrollable. And it's because I'd suppressed them and kept them squashed and kept them down. And so when they rose, it was like the pot, you know, the boiling pot, and the lid just wants to go. So we don't know how to regulate, and that's why we react. It's why we get pissed off at people. It's why we retreat back. We go into our shell. This is why we have mental health issues. This is why people self-harm. You know, people then self-medicate because we don't know how to self-regulate. And, you know, this is what this journey is going to teach you. It is going to teach you how to self-regulate so that when something happens in your life, it's not going to tip you over, that you can sit within it. You can feel the emotion without pushing it out and having all this need and expectation that people, you know, family or friends or a partner is actually going to self-soothe. You're going to learn to self-soothe. Yes, people can hold space for you. Yes, people can be with you and sit with you, but you're actually going to learn to self-regulate these emotions, and you will on this journey. There's just like, because the thing is that you start to shift all the old dense energies that are not you, which is stored emotions, basically. They're going to get out of your body. And then what you'll find is it becomes easier. The more you stabilize your energy, it becomes easier for you when the emotions do come to be the observer of it, to sit with it, be in your masculine and hold that beautiful space while the feminine just feels into the energy and lets it go through, but know that they are not the stories anymore. Or no, it's not going to like define everything about them, you know. It's being able to have your emotions, but not like let it be your driving force, where you're just looping in the emotion the whole time and you just can't seem to pull yourself out of it. It's a horrible, horrible place to be. I have been there. And, you know, once you're in there, it's really hard to get out. So I, you know, and this journey, you know, we've all been suppressing our emotions. So I'm sure many of you will know what I'm talking about. So just coming back to the soul, it is about learning to practice presence, which is what soul is. Soul is the conscious awareness. That's your masculine within you, who's the observer, the consciousness, right? And you're going to, and the feminine is all that subconscious stuff. That's why we've got to shift all the subconscious patterns, beautiful souls, because otherwise, guess what happens? They mirror it, and we want to shift them to the beautiful, divine, beautiful soul that you are. So learning to self-regulate, learning to sit with your emotions, but not become the stories, become the pity party that we can easily shift into. It's learning to get out of those. It's learning that when you are emotional, you're learning how to sit with it without projecting it and having somebody run around after you and make you feel better. You're going to learn to do that for self. That's what this journey will teach you, because you can't project your emotions onto the masculine. You've got to learn to self-regulate. And yes, they will be with you and they can sit with you, but there's got to be no expectation in behind that. You need to make me feel better. That's not this journey. This journey is about you learning to make yourself feel better. It's about empowering yourself, knowing that you are strong and stable within yourself, that you can hold yourself in those moments. So practicing gratitude, having gratitude for this awakening. And I know some of you are going to go, what the hell, Kathleen? This awakening's friggin' awful. Yes, initially, and you need to shift out of that story as well and see the gift you've truly been given. It's about, just honoring, gratitude, getting to know yourself, really sit with yourself at a soul level, really sit with those emotions and let them out. Let them be with you. but then just be able to release them and not carry the story with them. Don't become the story, because your soul, right? The soul does not become the story. The soul goes, well, we've had this experience, so let's move on to the next one. And that experience could be the emotions, but the soul does not judge those emotions. The soul's not going to judge anything as good or bad. It's here to be perceiving and experiencing, not to be judging. And so learning to stop that judgment within is also really important, because the soul doesn't judge. And this is why it's important for you to get to know yourself at a soul level. That is what you've been awakened to. And this is where your relationship is. It's with soul. And then you come into this beautiful frequency that you share with only one other body on this planet. And, you've got to be able to stabilize that frequency without getting into the fear again of, oh, they're going to come and leave again. You'll get to a place where that you won't be in fear about that anymore. You'll just be like so grateful for the journey that the fear's all gone. You've alchemized it. And then that's when the soul can start to draw you back in. And that drawing back in is a process as well. It truly is a process. This is your tonal mate. This is your divine counterpart. And what you choose, when the feminine's completely balanced, you can choose, right? You can choose. You can do this work when you're in a relationship. You can do this work if you're in a marriage. And ultimately, you will know, when you start to really do the soul work, you will know if you need to get out of a situation or whether you just want to balance it. You can, and then you can start to make conscious decisions for yourself at a soul level on, do I want to be here in this connection, or do I actually want to step out of it? And you can make that from a decision of discernment as opposed to from an emotional state. So, every journey is unique and individual, and the key here is just to trust your soul. That's the other thing when you're cultivating trust. Surrendering, not a word that I liked, but surrendering and trust that you are the soul and you are limitless, you are everything. And it's about learning to embody, you are what you think, right? So if you keep thinking that you're in separation, if you keep thinking that you're not worthy, and you keep thinking the masculine's not coming back, you will experience all of that. So it's about really learning to get to know yourself, really making these commitments to self and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get out of this energy, and I'm going to really come in and alchemize these fears so I can be this beautiful, limitless being that I am, and I can really live in my own Garden of Eden. And you will. This is like heaven on earth when you're in this beautiful energy. You're in the peace. There's no peace when the ego's, yapping away. It's really not peaceful there. It's peaceful when you're in this beautiful soul energy, your own unique soul frequency. Anyway, I hope this really helps. Sending so much love.